Hello, I'm Andrew Dyer, and welcome to another edition of the Roundball Report, the only show in the area dedicated to highlighting the experts of the high school, college, and professional basketball teams which play in the Washington metropolitan area. And here with me again is my co-host, the coach of Capital Christian High School, Nikki Lewis.
Yes.
Nikki, welcome back.
Thank you.
We took a little hiatus, and I understand you had a much-deserved vacation.
Yes, went to Cancun for 7 days and burned in the sun, but still had a great time.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
excuse my 3 shades today.
No problem. And Nikki, our first guest is a guy that I've known since I was literally a little kid, but I consider him a friend and a mentor, and he's also the dad of one of our former Roundball Report members that has gone on to stardom soon, as you will follow, Mr. Kevin McNutt, the author of Playing Time, Tough Truths about AAU and youth basketball. And Kevin, welcome back to the show
Thank you.
for your second book.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Now, we were talking before we came on the show that years ago, I think it was before the century turn, when you did your first book, and I started the show in '96. Because I didn't even start AAU basketball, getting involved in AAU basketball in 1999.
I remember it well.
You warned me. You said he's known me. He calls me Andy, so because he knew me when I was Andy.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right. That's correct.
He said that my heart was too pure to get into AAU basketball,
Wow.
but I did it and nonetheless because I had kids that were of playing age, but and found out that there are some tough truths about it, but it's a necessary evil, but you can navigate your way through it. So talk about what motivated you to write this book.
That's interesting. I got to pause on that when you said it was a necessary evil. That's one of the things I write about in the book. Is it really a necessary evil? You know, but and that led to one of the reasons for writing this book, the second book. And after my first one, I really said I didn't have the heart to write another one because it's a very draining project to write a book. But again, I was still refereeing, Monica was playing ball, I was still on the high school circuit, I was still involved with AAU. I ended up coaching, after Monica stopped playing, I still ended up coaching, assistant coach on a couple of AAU programs. Matter of fact, Team Assault, DC Assault. So not on one of their power squads, because those type of programs have 4 or 5 different teams. So I was on the gold team or the white team. They always designated by jerseys. But anyway, and again, not only had, since my first book, things had gotten worse in the sense of parent involvement, energy, venom, deceit, trust, mistrust. All of those things were going just haywire. And I said, well, okay, back to the keyboard I went. And it might sound like I'm downing AAU. There's some problems there, but there's also, and I try to be balanced about it, a lot of good folks, a lot of good folks. Like yourself, you got in because of children, your own children. And Nikki, you're into it.
Yes.
There's a lot of folks that are just there. They just want to educate youth, give them exposure, show them how sports can be a asset to them being productive citizens in life. And I try to write that from it because there's 2 types of AAU. There's the big boys, which I'm talking about, the recruits that are going to one and dones at Kentucky and Duke and Syracuse. And those guys, that's one level. And that's where you hear of the problems. That's where you hear of the, give me some of this, give me some money, and transferring and moving a lot. Then you have a lot of what I call the grassroots program. See, AAU tries to call it all grassroots, but it's not.
It's not.
You got the big boys, the ones that with the players that are on their way to Duke and Carolina, and then you got the grassroots programs that don't have sneaker funding.
Right.
And have to do everything from fundraisers to getting the kids to everybody jumping in a van and heading down to Carolina or Myrtle Beach or what have you. And so I try to be balanced and combine the 2 in writing this book. As well, and then I couldn't just stop there. Then I had to go in, get into, that's why I said AAU basketball and then youth sports, because I got into youth sports, because a lot of things that you see in youth sports are parallel to AAU. So it could be soccer, it can be football, it could be baseball. It's all transferable. Some of the things you see in AAU.
Well, let me say, as a AAU coach,
Go on
high
with
school
your
coach,
best,
and a mom of a student athlete.
How old?
He's 19.
Okay.
Plays football.
Okay.
Love basketball. Plays football now. Morgan State.
Okay.
Let me ask you. So when in your book you talk about how sports, how it will eventually AAU, it bypasses the fun and the fundamentals.
Wow, love that question. How about 9?
9.
9-year-olds for the
Wow.
players. And that's why I love that question, because that's what I write about.
Right.
AAU has a national term. By the way, let's clip that misnomer right now. AAU is an organization.
Yes.
And to their credit, they seized the opportunity with Sonny Vaccaro, who did this thing that we try to get exposure for everybody, and took it from camps and Michael Jordan's shoe contract to saying, hey, wait a minute, a camp, having a summer camp, that's just 1 week and just a few kids. If I can get something that we can have a venue that plays basketball during this whole off season, which is February through July, so he got something here. So and AAU came on because AAU's been existing for 125 years. So they had the blueprint, the protocols to make it work. But they are an organization. They have captured a name. Matter of fact, when I talked to the folks down at AAU headquarters, they said, yeah, we're like, well, how do you say it? We are so dominant. We are like Kleenex replacing the word tissue. Okay? Wow. That's how strong it is. And so the name is synonymous with spring and summer basketball, but AAU is really not. It's really competitive travel basketball.
Yes.
But anyway, to answer your question, AAU has a national tournament for 8-year-olds now. Rip off. And I will also throw Pop Warner football in that same venue. You get a lot of programs that are going, and for what? It means nothing. It means nothing. It's not a true national championship because the only teams that can go are the ones that are funded to be able to go.
Right.
And so it really is a keeping up with the Jones, a sports keeping up with the Jones for parents who are allocating a lot of funds, especially in my communities, in the black community, that they don't have. Matter of fact, a lot of them, I've probably been on your show, I see them all the time. Pop Warner football comes, and they don't have the funds, so they go on TV and basically plead. And sometimes the business community rallies around. But I'm saying, wait a minute. You're giving all that money so that 25 guys can go down and play for Myrtle Beach. What are you taking out of the community that can be there for the whole? So anyway, so the point I'm trying to say, but 9-year-old, I'm seeing parents saying, hey, one sport, you are playing basketball, forget about other, which is crazy. Yeah. Why are you locked? I know why. But you're locking yourself into one sport at 9-year-old.
Yes.
That's where you should be testing them all. You play like we did growing up. You play baseball in the spring and summer. You play football in the fall. You play basketball in the winter.
Yes.
And throw in some of the others, volleyball and track, if you will. But now at 9-year-old, and I'm telling you, it's serious business with the parents who don't know who don't know what they don't know, saying that that's the way you have to do it. And that's disheartening.
Now, knowing you, I know you don't just. I know that you don't just chronicle the problem in your book. Let me hold up. I know that you don't just chronicle the problem, but you give folks some solutions and toolkits how to navigate through. So let's talk about some of the solutions you have in there and how to navigate your way through.
Well, there's several ways. First of all, as I mentioned, you folks are that example in a lot of ways because you're getting into sports for family. You're getting into sports to teach, and that is a big thing. Most coaches in AAU sports that I have come across, and I've been refereeing, so I've had a lot of adversarial cat and dogs relations. So have you referee with look at you laughing at, bang, you got one, coach. An adversarial relation, but a lot of coaches are out there. They don't have children like you do, but they don't have children. They're in it. They have a heart to teach. They have a love for the sport, and they give up their time, their money, their resources just to teach kids. So that's a start in the right direction. Another thing that kids have to learn is that, and this is because part of the education, is that that's not the only way to get it done. The belief is out there. That's what you said in your opening, why I had to backtrack a little bit, is the belief now that the only way to get to the next level, which is a college scholarship, they're going to think MBA, but you can't get the MBA without going to college. I mean, you got to go for 1 year, and that's for the rarefied few. But you have to understand that playing AAU is not the sole source for you getting to the league, getting to college. Matter of fact, chances are your high school is going to be the conduit that's going to get it done for you, more so than AAU. Right. People don't realize that.
But the unique part about it, Kevin, though, is AAU has become a conduit to get to the elite high schools now as well. is a lot of the coaches are doing the
But for
recruiting
who?
at the AAU. Well,
You see what I'm saying? When you do that, you're talking about the 5-star recruits. Now, let me tell the audience, and I know you guys know, but let me tell you all this what we're talking about when I say 5-star. The 5-star is part of the jargon that recruiters use to classify players. Your 5-star athletes are basically your top, well, let's say 150, okay? And they are the ones going to the bigger schools, as I mentioned, the Dukes, the Carolinas, and so forth. 5-star, 4-star athlete, where a coach would say he's a 4-star, which means he can play at the Big East level, the AC level, ACC, the Big Ten level. That's a small percentage of the kids playing basketball. 500,000 kids play basketball annually. Okay, now I don't know the exact number for AAU, but most of them, I would dare say, well, I don't dare, I know, are 3, 2, 1, maybe even 0-star. Those guys need to understand that it's very highly unlikely you ain't going to Georgetown or Duke or Maryland. Your best avenue is going to be low D1, which Howard, for example, just bringing out a school that's here in the local area, and D2, D3, NAIA. But those places have good opportunities, and the bottom line, you get to continue, and this is the goal, you get to continue your athletic career, and your parents ain't got to write a check. And that's the beauty of it all. So that's the answer to your question is there are good coaches out there that you can learn from, and there's got to be an awareness that it's not AAU exclusively that gets you to the next level.
and Kevin, where can they get this great book?
It's available all over at the standard places: Amazon, Barnes & Noble. The publisher is African American Images out of Chicago. You can Google them and order the book, and they have discounts for you to get more than one and so forth and so on. So it's available, it's out there, and I'm pretty proud of it. It's got a lot of information there. As you see, I can.
And you're passionate about it.
All the day.
Always. All right, man.
Thank
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for
Thank
the
you.
information.
All right. Remember, that's Playing Time. Tough Truths About AAU Basketball and Youth Sports by Kevin McNutt. We're going to go to the break right now, and on the side, we're going to present you with a special feature, the Mystics' home season conclusion game against the Atlanta Dream, and preview the playoffs for the Mystics and the upcoming season for the Washington Wizards and the rest of the NBA with Coach Jimmy Fly Hellman and Lexter Taylor right after this. So stay with us.